Now let's find the inverse of a linear function. So find the inverse of f of x equals 3x minus 1. So here are the steps. Step 1, you're going to set y equal to f of x. Okay, basically you're just going to change it. You're going to make it y equals 3x minus 1. The next step is you're going to step 2. Now you will switch the roles of x and y. Switch the roles of x and y. So we're just going to literally just switch them. So it becomes x equals 3y minus 1. Step 3, you're going to solve for y. Okay? So we have x equals 3y minus 1. Add 1 to both sides. So now you have x plus 1 equals 3y divided by 3. And then the last step is to, step 4, write the new inverse, or write the inverse function. So when you do that, rename it. And so in our textbook, it just rewrites it as g of x. Okay, so we'll just use the g of x for now. So g of x equals, I'm going to rewrite it as 1/3 x plus 1/3. Now, g of x, that could, like I said, you could write f inverse. You may also see that as y inverse. Okay, so it just depends on your next class and what they expect. So let's go ahead and graph these so you can see it. So f of x equals 3x minus 1. So that starts at -1. Then you go up 3, right 1. Down 3, left 1, down 3, left 1. And then we will graph the other graph. Okay, the inverse function, or g of x. So this is at, the y-intercept is at 1/3, so I'll just kind of eyeball it. Oh, it's a little too high. 1/3. And then you go up 1, right 3, up 1, right 3, down 1, left 3, down 1, left 3. Okay? Change that one a little bit more. Okay? Now, if we draw the line, connecting it, we have this line here. This is our g of x, or our f inverse. And then we have our other line here. Okay? Then let's draw our line of reflection. So our line of reflection is at 0, 0, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, and so forth. So our line of reflection, notice that it is reflected across this line. Okay, so those are the steps in order to find the inverse of a linear function. So go ahead and try out the next two, and then I will show you the answers right here. So try the next two, graphing them both. So if you tried it out, so first step, set it equal to y. Then you switch the roles. Then you want to solve for y. So let's rewrite this as g of x equals 1/2 x. So let's graph the first function. F of x equals 2x. So that is at 0, up to right 1, up to right 1. Here we go. Draw the line. Then our next equation, okay, so I'll label that as f of x. Let's graph our g of x, the inverse function. That is, starts at 0, 0. And then this time you go up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2. Okay. So here's our line. And then if you drew the line of reflection, you would see that as well, that it is reflected across that line. Okay, and the next one. This is, set it equal to y first. Y equals 1/3 x minus 2. Switch the roles. X equals 1/3 y minus 2. And then solve for y. Add 2. x plus 2 equals 1/3 y. In order to clear the fraction, you're going to multiply both sides by 3. Make sure you distribute to both sides. And now you get 3x plus 6 equals, I'm going to go ahead and change it right now to g of x. So let's change, let's graph the first graph. We'll graph 1/3 x minus 2. So we start at -2. And then we go up 1, right 3. Down 1, left 3. Okay, so that is this line. And this is our f of x. Then let's graph the other line. G of x, so start at 6. And then we'll go down 3, right 1, down 3, right 1, down 3, right 1, down 3, right 1. And then draw that line. And then you can see, if you draw the line of reflection at y equals x, it is completely reflected on that line. Okay,